Freemasonry is a system which believes in a dual God, dualistic system. Dualism means that in Eastern philosophy and religion, they believe you have to have an opposite for everything. For example, if you have black, you have white. If you have light, you must have darkness. If you have a male, you must have a female. If you're Chinese, you have a yin, you must have a yang. In the case of God, they come up against a brick wall because God does not have an opposite. So they invent an opposite, they call him Lucifer, and the statement made by Albert Pike many years ago, a top Freemason in America, said these words: "What we must say to the crowd is, we worship a God, but it is the God which one adores without superstition. To you sovereign grand inspectors general we say this, and you may repeat it to the brethren of the 30th, 31st and 32nd degrees. The Masonic religion should be by all of its initiates maintained in the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. If Lucifer were not God, would the God of the Christians bother to spread false and harmful statements about him? Yes, Lucifer is God." But then he goes on to say Adonai is also God, unfortunately. And then he said there must be two gods to bring about perfection, you see. And then they change the roles of these gods. They say Adonai is the dark side of God and Lucifer is the God of light and brightness. In other words, they blaspheme as they call the God of Israel the dark side and Lucifer, their God, the bright side of the Godhead. Men are not told this until they get into the upper degrees, you see, above the 30th degree.
How many other degrees are there before then, before one is brought into the knowledge of who is in control of that organisation?
Well, a man should smell a rat by the first degree as soon as he does the hood over the eyes, called hoodwinking, a noose around his neck. Any Freemason watching this program knows I'm telling the truth. I've met so many of them. In fact, I've sat there with them, with their wives sitting next to them, and their wives saying, "You didn't." And the poor man doesn't know what to do. He said, "I did, dear." There's a noose around their neck. Their shirt is rolled up above the chest. They're pricked with the point of a sword. They're told that if they run forward, they'll be stabbed by the sword. If they run backwards, they'll be hung by the running noose. And while they're in that dreadful position, they do these witchcraft, symbolic cutting of the throat and so on. So any man who does that, who's in his right mind, should say there's something wrong here.